Hi, I'm Ashy. Welcome to my January alphabet painting series. So this year I decided to choose a New Year's resolution that I feel like is actually doable, and that is for the first 26 days of the year, to paint a small, quick watercolor sketch that corresponds with the letters of the alphabet. This will help me be disciplined and help me paint daily for this first, month or so. And hopefully this will help me also build that habit of creativity and just pulling out the paints every single day. And it's just building that habit of creativity. Let me know if you have any New Year's resolutions that you are deciding on for yourself this year. I'd love to hear your different ideas in the comments. So for each of these videos, I'll be using the brand new sketchbook that I'm starting this year. It's Moleskine watercolor album. It's not the highest quality paper, but for quick watercolor sketches, it does the job. Let's jump in. Okay, here I am on day 7, and day 7 is G for guitar. So, got distracted, there was a hair on my palette. Okay, G for guitar. So we're gonna start by sketching out a guitar. And this is a bit more of a complex shape, but we can still break it down into shapes so that it makes it easier. So the first thing is kind of the body of the guitar, and we're gonna start with a rounded kind of, it's not really a circle though, because it's got a flat bottom, but it's rounded on the edges, and then kind of a flat bottom there. Okay, so there's the bottom of the guitar, and then it has this almost like hourglass shape here, where it goes in some, and then it comes up and out again, like so. And that is a rounded corner, and then it comes around and in, and that's where the neck of the guitar comes out. And then on this side it's just a little bit lower, but same idea. So it's kind of rounded, comes out, and then a rounded point here, and then down and in. Okay, now we add the neck. And I'm loosely basing this off of my husband's guitar. He has a couple, but this is a Fender. So loosely based off that. And then my top's gonna look different here because where my letters are, because I'm making this bigger. Finally, I'm doing something a little bit bigger. I've really actually been trying to do slightly bigger, and it just keeps ending up small. Guess I need to work on my drawing in terms of the sizes and actually getting what I want it to be at the end. Okay, so then this is kind of like a triangle shape here. Diamond triangle-ish shape, but then there's like a little rounded spot on the top. Something like that. And then we have the little knobs to tune the guitar. And there are 6 of them. 4, 5, 6. Okay, that's kind of messy, but that's okay. And then we have strings going down, which I'll just kind of throw in the impression of strings either with a liner brush or with fine liners. I don't know yet. And then I might write Fender here, we'll see. And then inside here there's another kind of mimicking of that shape, smaller. And then it comes around and comes up. Something like that. And we got some knobs here. And we got a little line here with the lever. And then we have our little fret or pickups, I think is, yeah, they're called pickups. Okay, there is our guitar. So now to see if we can succeed in painting it. So I'm just going to lift up that extra graphite so that we don't see it through. Push too hard here in the center, and I lifted up all of it because I was drawing super light there. I don't want to lift up all of it, just most of it. Okay. Now the guitar can be whatever color we want it to be, but I'm going to start with I think I'm going to start with the body, and I'm going to do like a greenish color for it. So I don't really clean my palettes. I just leave the paint on there and then reuse it. So this is kind of a dusty green. I want it to be a little bit more bluish green. Not that much more bluish green. Well, actually, I kind of like that color. Yeah, I do like that. I'm just going to add a tiny bit of pink to it to mute it down just a little bit. There we go. Okay. And then I'm just going to start with a very light wash of that on the body of the guitar. And this center part, I don't know what it's called, but that part is white, so I need to be careful around that to maintain that white space there. Which I was not. So I'm just going to kind of change the shape of it slightly. There we go. It's going to be a little smaller there. And it will get the impression that it's a guitar, so it's okay if it's not perfect. So there is the body of the guitar, and I'm kind of happy with it because it already has a little bit of variation because it was drying kind of as I was going, but I'm just going to pick up a tiny bit of the color to get a little bit more of a highlight in some places. But overall, I'm pretty happy with the variations that it already has. And I don't want to overwork it. Okay, now to do the neck, it's a like light wood color, so I'm just gonna grab a little bit of brown, and this one's my burnt umber, and just do a really light wash of burnt umber. I'm not gonna mix anything, I'm just gonna do a light wash of that. And then while it's damp, if I just drag the brush, a very lightly damp brush, it's not very wet at all, but if I just drag it along one side of it, it'll pick up some of the pigment and make a highlight. Now I did get just a little bit of that color down here on the white. So let me grab a paper towel, and I just kind of wet it up, and then I'm going to lift it out a little bit. I had some of the green on my brush too. Still, let me clean my brush a little bit better. Get that wet, and then lift it out. And that'll be fine. Just kind of blend it out a little bit more. There we go. Okay, so now for the details, I'm going to use a size 0 brush and just get some gray for the knobs, the tuning knobs up here. And they are a silver color, but I don't want to use my metallic paints for that because I think it'll just be too metallic basically. So just kind of get some gray here, dry off my brush because I don't want it to be really watery. This is a very small area, and if I have a lot of water on my brush, it is going to quickly overwhelm the area. And I'm just going to kind of dot in some gray. And I'm loosely going where my pencil marks were. Not exactly, I'm just trying to get 6 kind of evenly spaced here. That's 5, so 1 more. And again, it's more about the impression of a guitar, less about it actually being a perfect guitar. So now these knobs down here are white, so I just need to add a tiny bit of a shadow to make them pop out a little bit. Oopsie. Helps if I hit the towel instead of the sketchbook when I'm trying. The towel instead of the sketchbook when I'm trying to clean off my brush. Okay, so that little shadow ended up a little bit too harsh on that middle one, so I'm just lifting a little bit of it up. Okay, overall happy with that. And then the line where this little lever is to change, gets to change which pickup is being used, is just a little dark line there. And then the little pickups are like a bunch of little dots that make like a line. So I'm just gonna make little dots that look like a line. Okay. And then there's some dots on the neck. And if anyone plays guitar, don't come at me for the accuracy of these, because I'm kind of doing it loosely, but it's not going to be perfectly accurate by any means. Not trying to make it perfectly accurate. Okay. And then same, there's like little lines for the frets. And again, these are not going to be accurate to how many there are, because I just don't feel like counting. So loosely based on a guitar. Okay, there we go. And then to create the guitar strings, I'm going to use a liner brush, and that's because I want like more long flowing lines. I don't want it to be so precise. I want it to flow. So this is just a liner brush, and I'm getting it loaded with paint. And this is just a mix of black and Payne's Gray, because that's what I have on the palette. And then I'm going to turn my page actually, because it's a little bit easier to go horizontally to make straight lines. And I'm just going to try to touch super lightly. And if there are some interruptions, I don't mind that. I'm just trying to go as light as I can, really. Okay, there are my guitar strings. Now, I'm gonna try to write Fender on this, and we'll see how successful I am. I'm actually gonna use my fine liners for this. And I'm gonna use my smallest one, so 0.05, just because it is such a small thing. And the Fender logo is pretty distinct, but I'm not gonna necessarily try to make it exactly like that, because I won't succeed. So no point in really trying to make it exactly precise. Okay, there's Fender. Perfect. And then just to kind of, I might regret this, but just to kind of give a little bit of definition on these knobs. Okay, I think that's good. I'm happy with that. I'm not going to mess with it more. Okay, yes I am, because I'm going to add a little bit of a shadow. So just take a little bit of a darker brown here and add it around this edge here. And that'll make it look a little bit more three-dimensional, a little bit less flat. And then same with down this side, just the smallest amount. And then same thing with the green, just the smallest amount of a darker green. There, okay. Now I'm just gonna kind of touch the bottom here. That's not gonna be a big enough brush. Let's touch the bottom with a larger brush and just get a little bit of that color pulled out. Okay, there is our guitar. Now I have to figure out where I'm gonna write my G. So I have green for the word guitar, and I'm gonna do yellow for the G. G is for, I forgot one thing on my guitar that I just noticed. So I'm just gonna add a tiny bit of gray for that little thingy where you attach the strap. Okay, now onto the word guitar. And I think I'm gonna have to do it over here like sideways. So let's see, how do I spell guitar? G-U-I-T-A-R. I'm really bad at spelling, and then I'm like concentrating on actually writing it nicely, so it makes it harder. So let's do the G. U. I. T. A. R. Guess I'm going over. That's okay. There we go. G is for guitar. Thanks for watching. I really hope you enjoyed it, and I hope you learned something. Be sure to subscribe to my channel and hit that notification bell to see when each of my new videos drops. Have an awesome day.